Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunday Spotlight. And tonight, we're going to the one place not corrupted by demolition. Space! That was weak. There's just no replacing Tim Curry's take on it. It is legendary. Anyway, Teardown is, of course, no stranger to this channel. I'll go on record that it's become one of my favorite games, and they've added a ton to it since its release. The latest DLC offering, the Greenwash Gambit, takes us quite far from lateral. You figure if we've gone back in time and had a wacky race episode, then space is the only place left to go. Hey, PJ, welcome to chat. But yeah, there appears to be more of a plot to this than usual, as we've ended up stranded on another planet, where a sinister corporation has developed a rather creative solution to waste disposal. Let's go ahead and fire it up here. We'll be starting from scratch to get the context, but we're starting to enter some alt history here, if not outright science fiction. Lacal not only has an impressive military, which we use to blow up a food court, we also have a space program. That's a pretty exclusive club, IRL. More countries have nuclear arsenals and aircraft carriers that can pull off manned spaceflight. Anyway, we've got some new environments and some exciting new physics toys with which to play with them, and so let's strap in and prep for launch. We actually get a cutscene this time. A Lacal went missing during a mission to test the new Kila's exo thruster. After 4 months in space, the signal from their ship suddenly went silent. So yeah, Kila's was the security company in the first game. Or, in the base game. Ho-ho! Oh, talk about a hard landing. But yeah, they were the company that made the security systems and the robots in the later missions, and now it looks like they've gotten into rocketry. With, mixed results, let's say. Marginally better than SpaceX, I'd say. But let's get rolling. Because we appear to have landed somewhere, if not exactly Earth, then sufficiently Earth-like for us to survive on. Let's look around. Hey, civilization. Kick ass, we got us a space base here. So yeah, outside of DLC, there's been a few other updates of note. One of the more interesting ones is... let me see what the controls are. Camera view, here we go. Third person mode, hell yeah! We're not just a floating set of tools now, we have an actual model. Selection of models, in fact. This is undoubtedly connected to the planned multiplayer mode currently in development, which sounds like it'll be utter chaos in the best way. I imagine there'll be some issues with slowdown once you really start destroying stuff, but the fact that they're trying this means they have some serious long-term plans for this game. Again, it's very impressive amount of post-release support. Yeah, I love this game too. It's fast become one of my, like, an all-time favorite. Alright, so we just got to this base. We need to turn on the solar panels to actually give it some power. I mean, the lights are on, but I assume we need to fire some stuff up. But let's look at our actually, I might need to do that before we can actually open most of these doors. But yeah, once again, we're getting some, like, really sharp world building and attention to detail in the level construction. So yeah, Commander NIL, Pilot NIL. So yeah, Crew Vitals Monitoring Station. So basically the base is abandoned and there's no signals coming from the crew. We can only assume the worst. Yeah, it might be a little bit. I don't know the time frame on the multiplayer module. I assume it's going to take a while, but that tells me that they are planning on supporting this game for the long haul, quite possibly for years to come, which is very impressive considering it's still a relatively small studio. This is just a really strong runaway success. All right, adjust the panel, huh? Alright, here we go. Perfect! So we're near enough to a sun that we can get solar power. This is good. Alright, now the doors are working. So let's look around a little bit, because we got kind of a whole thing here. As with the construction in the base game, you've got some really nice attention to detail. So we've got living quarters here, habitation spaces, restrooms, enough to support a small crew here. The light's on, so that suggests that someone was here fairly recently. And you know, we are going into, again, we're going into science fiction if we're talking a 4-month journey to a habitable planet. And you know, it's probably a case where you're just not really meant to think about it. But, you know, it is fun to consider the implications of finding something we can... finding an Earth-like planet that we can visit with 90s rocket technology. So yeah, we've got some kind of pellet here system. We'll learn a little more about what this does later on. But the point is, we've got this infrastructure supporting some kind of operation here. And it has obviously been here for some time. Let's go check the mainframe and let's find out exactly what we have crash-landed into. So yeah, here's kind of our mission control area. Alright, boot sequence started, push CBV, bind to support true, conservative depth support true, action mission sequence. Alright, validating mission sequence. Scout for suitable location, set up base, gather tools and material locker, scout the Arroyo Chasm, scout the recycling plant. Looks like this is about where it's trailed off. Gather crystal mining operations intel, samples, acquire override protocols, locate something called the SCCL. So, there's been some stuff going on here. You can see down here, the objectives get a little more interesting. So yeah, prepare escape route, assemble quantum vortex bomb, destroy black hole generator. So this game is foreshadowing some serious shit happening in this plot. Yeah, 4 months from Earth for a Type M planet? Yeah, you got yeeted faster than 90s tech. Doc Brown set up that rocket. Pretty much, yeah. Good to see you, Branch. Anyway. Distress signal. Warning. Distress signal from Tier 1 active. Mission briefing. Go to Arroyo Chasm and investigate signal. Action required. Bring back Tier 1. Alright. So yeah, we have a map of sorts of this planet, which I don't know if it has a name per se, but the implication is that we are not the only people here, and that there's been an operation going on. This, as you might imagine, is the black hole that has already been referenced, and we're going to kind of work our way towards it with these missions. But first, we're going to this chasm here. Arroyo Chasm is a menacing rift cutting through the surface of the planet. It's one of the few places, here we go, on Vigrid 0421T, where power crystals are less rare than elsewhere. Yeah, okay, but what about tear up? Oh, man. Well, we'll be getting there. There's some funky gravity shenanigans happening. Not necessarily with the normal play. As you can see, we have normal gravity here, but there are some items that are going to mess with that a little. Also, howdy, Orange. Good to have you here. But yeah, once again, we just have some fantastic atmosphere with these maps and world building here. And you know, it probably... Yeah, obviously we're not dealing with anything remotely Earth-like or Earth system-like, but there's an imagination at work here, and suggesting that we are... everything about this makes it clear we are not at home. We are somewhere else. Anyway, so we are looking for this fella over here, Tier 1. We don't exactly know what it is yet, but it's broadcasting as a distress signal. So let's get sailing. This opening mission is pretty straightforward. It's just retrieving an object and making it to the escape vehicle. So yeah, as you can see, the character models now correctly occupy the vehicles, which will be real interesting when you start destroying them and you basically ruin the control cabin. But again, it's a nice little bit of backfill as far as updates go, and making you feel more like a part of the world, making you feel more like a character. And, you know, there's a variety of models you choose from. You actually unlock a few in the DLC. So there's a nice bit of support. So as you can see here, we've got some boxes that are floating in proximity to this funky crystal here. Bringing it near an object messes with the gravity of that object. You can see the boat is now hovering above the water. So if you tether this to an object, you can make it a lot lighter and make it easier to bring around. And this will be a more involved part of the puzzle as we get rolling. Tier 1 here is tethered to this thing. So let's cut this thing. He's going to be something of our robot buddy here, and you can see there's a power indicator. So we need to get him back to base and get him charged up. I need some thrusters for this bad boy. Actually, that reminds me, I forgot to show off the gadgetry they give us. There's some creative additions to the tools you get here. You get most of the standard stuff, but rather than conventional guns and explosives, you get a few more interesting toys. I will let them speak for themselves when we get back to base. Alright, come on, Tier 1. Let's get you out of here. Alright, off we go. Alright, we'll power you up in just a sec. Hey, we got a Roomba. Can I stand on the Roomba? Ah, it goes out from under me. Let's see. Oh, right, I think I have to power him on first, and then we get the new toys. Alright, so we activate this thing. We feed some pellets to our little robot buddy here. Hey! Alright, so we need a couple more. So happens there's exactly 3 available. Sweet. Chow down, little guy. We got some work to do out here in space. There's a lot of space and we need to destroy it. Hey! Tier 1 is alive. Now, rather interestingly, it doesn't directly communicate with you, but it does communicate to the mainframe, and this little screen indicator here flashes with various status icons. In this case, it's telling us we've got mail. From itself, no less. So again, we're getting kind of a fun, toy-like quality to the robots and equipment in this, where it has function, and there are bits on it that look like they would have some real-world practicality, but also they have some character to them, which I quite like. Alright, hello world. Reboot successful. Oh wow, does it feel good to be energized again. Really tingling feeling. Seems we have the new face in the base. To get you up to speed, here's a short brief. We are on a mission to stop the Eco-Friendly Operations Corporation from using their black hole as a waste disposal system in their recycling plant here at Vigrid 0421T. Oh no, those bastards! How dare they think of a convenient way to get rid of waste? Yeah, Generation Zero grinding time, which means biking across Sweden. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Barrage, good to see you. As you might have figured out, our last mission to Arroyo Chasm didn't quite go as planned. And we left some supplies behind that really makes the situation a lot more pleasant. To get back on track, we should recover the supplies before the chasm dries out completely. But first, let's get you the proper equipment. Hey, mainframe, run the new crew member standard protocol. Confirming status. Of course, Tier 1. New crew member standard protocol initializing. Alright. Security on site. Security's on site, normal office hours. Alarm drones. Aw, thanks, Eyes. Most generous of you, my man. Good to have you here. I always like tips emotes. Yeah, alarm drones patrol the premises during nights and weekends. Liability waiver. By agreeing to adhere to these protocols, you waive any and all rights to initiate legal proceedings or file lawsuits against the organization for any incidents occurring during the operation. Alright, acquire a spacesuit and standard gear in the corridor on the first floor of the base. Right. Now we get our gear. That is over this way. Oh, yeah. See, this is something that people want in their homes. Like, anybody can have, like, a wardrobe or even, like, a weapons locker or something. You want that shit to move up to meet you when you're ready to go out and do your thing. So, yeah, we got our spacesuit. And actually, when I first started the game, I just had the default character model, so this unlocked the spacesuit model. But now we get our gear. Some of this is familiar. We've got our bombs, we've got our pipe bombs, vehicle thrusters, rocket boosters. Here's the fun stuff. So first, let's see, here we go. We've got our laser gun. Laser gun has limited ammo, but recharges over time. This is kind of your precision destruction weapon. Simple, but effective. And yeah, the fact that it recharges over time makes it kind of a handy general purpose weapon, and it starts fires, of course. Next, we got this feller, which I absolutely love, the Sonic Boomer. The Sonic Boomer has a long charge time, but fires one strong sonic blast. Let's find a nice blank wall to try this on. And I love the idea that we're just doing this to our own base. Because why not? Yeah, this'll do. Yes! Basically, it's a precision shotgun. It sends out a line projectile in a long way. If you see there, it actually punched through the roof after taking out a chunk of the wall. And it is very handy for drilling out large but relatively accurate holes in an obstacle some distance away. Damn satisfying to have. And finally, we have this fella. On loan from... what was that again? Telos 1, right, from the Prey reboot. The foam gun. It's basically the glue gun. You can use this to basically build platforms and get to places previously inaccessible. Kind of like the planks, but way more fun. Basically using the creation tool. It takes some getting used to, as you can see. We can always break the foam if you need to make adjustments. Oop, here we go. That'll do her. Outstanding. So yeah, they are emphasizing a higher and more precise degree of flexibility and maneuverability than the base game, while still keeping the tools recognizable in their function and purpose. It's a nice little sci-fi bent, and gives a little more flavor to the proceedings. Alright. Looking sharp. Now let's get the supplies from the chasm. Hey, mainframe, get the supplies mission started. Excellent idea, Tier 1. Go to Arroyo Chasm, bring back supplies. The Arroyo Chasm contains anti-gravity crystals. They aren't dangerous, but they do alter the gravitational fields around them, and can be used to move heavy objects with ease. Rock and roll. Alright. So another relatively easy mission, but in a fun little twist, Tier 1 is here with us. Now, he won't be doing much of help, but he's mostly just kind of there for flavor as we roll out and get these boxes. So there's one. You can see there have been tiny little tweaks to the UI. You can see these have visual indicators that they're above the player. So it's actually fairly close. Let's see, where are you? That's it. Alright. Close as the crow flies, we need to get up there. I'll try to avoid using the hook shotgun, which is still a ton of fun. Looks like that's actually one of those anti-gravity crystals. I do love the effect that these have on their surroundings. They almost kind of look like stuff is frozen in the act of being destroyed or tossed around. It's very serene. Serene and surreal. Actually, I believe there's a box right here. Yes, perfect. Alright. Yeah, you can see these are heavy, so we might actually need the crystals. I believe there is one over here. Yeah, as you can see, we have got some kind of warehouse. That's actually not that close. I'm kind of surprised it has that kind of range, unless there is an anti-gravity thing in there. Now, as you can see, while this thing is floating, we have no traction, so it is a problem if you bring these things close to vehicles, which will make the act of transporting them interesting. Okay, let's bring this away. Yep, there we go. This is indeed Space Teardown. We're actually on another planet. Somehow within a 4-month rocket journey from Earth. So yeah, we are basically in alt history and science fiction. And yeah, again, it gets me thinking of New Prey, where the main difference was that Kennedy survived his assassination attempt, and here we go. And then the space program went into overdrive, and that prompted the creation of the Talos space station and the encounter with the mimics. So I'm thinking there was something similar in Earth's history in this timeline, where something prompted an unspecified Nordic power to do a massive military and science and technological expansion. And now we have manned missions to a planet we apparently didn't know existed until now. Where am I even bringing this thing? Ah, right down there by the boat. Again, it's not something you're meant to think too hard about, but it is kind of a fun little flavor for the setting. Alright, there's one. Yeah, space-time has become our bitch. No kidding. You know what? Maybe we figured out the Event Horizon tech, and, like, in a few months, one of the pioneer ships behind the technology is gonna arrive from space, and we're gonna get a cryptic message on it that we think is a distress call, but is a warning to stay away. But, you know, maybe we actually figured out how to safely work that. It could happen. Alright, so it looks like the crystal is already attached, or the crate is already attached to that floaty ring there. So, we need to be able to bring that over. In fact, we can probably just get down to that boat. Boy. Alright. Now again, the main difficulty here is vehicles themselves will lose their connection to the water as they get close. So, yep, as you see, get too close, suddenly our boat becomes weightless. Amusingly, this doesn't seem to affect the player in any way. It's simply static objects. Now, the supply crate is tethered to this, so I believe if we decouple this, we should be able to bring it down, but we do need to move the crystal away. Here we go. Fuck. Alright, hold on a second. Can we float it back up? Ah, damn it. Okay, nope. The crate was too heavy for the... Yeah, the crate was too heavy for the ring and dragged it down. Yeah, if the gravity crystal affected water, that'd be wild. So I think what we gotta do is just drag the thing over. Yeah, you got that right, Tier 1. Can we just pull it while swimming? It's possible I'm overthinking this. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, this is demonstrating more concisely one of the other ways this could be used. It's kind of an imprecise area of effect. But they are handy little things. They emphasize the anomalous properties of this world, let's say. Because, yeah, this is a world where someone thought of the genius idea to use a black hole for waste disposal. And someone is trying to stop them, so there's good odds that this singularity might actually be man-made. That there is something about it that's fundamentally unstable. Anyway, what we'll do to minimize carrying bulk here. There we are. Alright, so we'll tether you to you. That's it. Do 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 do. Reduced by poverty to bonking robots with a baseball bat. Eh, you know. Works well enough in Honkai Star Rail. I'm sure there's some way you can bang on a robot with a... Where did it go? Did I get it? Okay, good, yes. I'm sure there's some way you can just hit a robot and cause damage. I mean, they are sensitive electronics. You don't want to just beat on a metal panel. You need to look for vulnerabilities. Pardon me, Tier 1. I know that the crystal doesn't affect him now that he is up and moving around, so maybe there's some... Maybe there's some hand-wavy nonsense that the crystal only affects inert objects. Yeah, there we go. And, like, the reason it's not affecting our outfit or our tools is because living beings generate some kind of bioelectric wibbly-wobbly field or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Again, the MST3K mantra holds true. Alright, so we need to get over here and here. If I recall right, yeah, we need to take this canyon up, get up around here somewhere, and then get up over here. We'll do the one up top first. Let's see, can we build a bridge from here? Damn it. Alright, well, there's another crystal over there. We can just use that one. But yeah, I believe we'll have to build a path up. Maybe, possibly. Maybe this just goes this way. I do kind of like my idea better. Alright, yeah. Well, hang on a second. Wait, what am I thinking? This is Teardown. Fuck your doors. Alright. Now I think, can we go up and over here? Let's find out. Hey, computer says yes. Alright, so next box is over here. And we might... I know there's a crystal over there. What we might have to do is build us a path to it. Ow. Don't have an infinite amount of ammo for this. I think what I gotta do is get that boat over there, build a path up from there, use that, build up here, bring that over to the barrel. Actually, wait, no, there's a barrel right there we can grab first. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll grab the barrel, bring it over to the boat. Can I... Maybe I can do this the simple way. Ah, damn it. Close but no cigar. Makes you think of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Game goes, here's a puzzle, here's a very specific and unique and specific way to do this puzzle, and you did it with the late game Echo you tamed because you went out of order. Cool, never mind. Ah, sequence breaking. But yeah, that's kind of the fun of games that are built around a tool set. That you are encouraged to think laterally, and sometimes you come up with solutions that may not have been intended, but are nonetheless valid. Ooh, hey. Ooh, power pellet. Nice. I wonder if that will be a thing later. Just trying to see if there's another way up so I can make another jump effort at that crystal, or if there's another one I can more easily get to. Ah, here we are. Alright. Let's try... Hey. Got it! Yes! Alright, so that's what we'll do. We'll use this fella. Tie that to that one, bring it over. And then we'll see if we can build us an easy path to the fourth and final one. That is a good question. We're actually just using them to cart around supplies at the moment. I imagine they themselves will be of some utility later. Alright, now, keeping in mind we cannot use the boats to lug this thing around. Here we go, beautiful. Alright. Again, there's a certain zen-ness with this game that I kind of appreciate when you're in the middle of planning, and you can kind of just soak up the atmosphere and appreciate the little details they put in. They're not... It's not what I would call story-driven, but there is a story being told in the environment that I think is understated and kind of interesting. Oh, come here. It's kind of like in SWAT 4, when there's a tactical puzzle you have to solve, neutralize all suspects, rescue all hostages, and deal with any special objectives. But each map has kind of a self-contained story with little details to pay attention to. Yeah, it's remarkably beautiful for a voxel game. Hey, Ivory, good to see you. Just in time for some gravity wibbly wobbly. Our little crystal balloon here is going to help us get that last supply box. Alright, here we are. And we're loose. Alright, now let's see. Can we just YOLO it over that platform without dying? Possible, but not very likely. So, let's get these out of the way. I do appreciate that those still explode, even when traveling very slowly. Propane tanks, famously unstable. I don't know where unstable came from. Alright, so yeah, we'll use this. Here, we'll save real quick. It's a little bit awkward building a linear bridge, but it should serve for our purposes. There we go. Take it over to this platform here. Motherfucker. Alright, hold on a second. Oh, I think we built on some debris and it's shaking. Ah! Son of a bitch! Okay. Actually, can we drag it down if we bring the foam tower down? Let's find out. Oh, no, we can't, because the anti-gravity crystal's keeping it afloat. Never mind. Alright. Too clever by half. Alright. You come with me. Don't slip out of my grasp this time. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, if you fall too fast, you lose your grip. But we might be able to build a path up to it and get it. go. A little higher. A little more. Got it. Alright. Beautiful. Alright. Come on, Tier 1, let's get out of here. Hey, buddy. Making some breakfast? Good little robot. Let me know if you need another power pellet, alright? Let's see what else we got here. Alright. I spy with my little eye. All stocked up. Since we had a bit of downtime, we need to get a hold of some up-to-date information from EFO Corp's activity at the recycling plant. The info can be found in documents and terminals at the recycling plant. No personnel will be there at this hour, but you have to stay out of sight of the guard drones. We also need to know the status of the black hole generator hub. Hey, mainframe, we ready to go? Indeed we are, Tier 1. Photograph documents and terminals at the recycling plant, as well as the black hole generator hub. Since we are not tampering with any of the infrastructure, gathering this information won't attract the drones unless they see you. Alright. So now we're going to the recycling plant itself. Eco-Friendly Operations Corp is a galactic waste disposal company. In an effort to maximize profits, they have constructed a huge base on the planet Vigrid 0421T, where they're building an artificial black hole in which they can dump all their clients' trash. Alright, photograph the objects at the recycling plant to gather intel about EFO Corp's operation. Rock and roll! Alright. Stick with me, buddy. This is a sneaking operation. Alright, so once again we have our camera, which we once used for to photograph the robots at keyless security. Rather ironic now that I think about it. So it looks like that's the fella itself. The actual black hole is probably somewhere within the facility. There's a drone hovering right there. So let's see what we need to photograph here. Alright. Contains results of experiments on different topics. Oop, there's another hover drone there. Contains communications between the space station and the base. Contains vital information about drone routes and safety. Has information on the current state of the generator. Alright. Let's see if we can get down here. A dog in a spacesuit, huh? In honor of Laika, our first and furriest cosmonaut. That's cute. You figure they had to send some animal into space to be their first test subject. Bravest and most loyal canine, I'm sure. Though I imagine the enormity of the moment was somewhat lost on the poor pup. Alright. Here we go. Hey. Open, open, open. Alright, what do we got here? Terminal, primary target. So it kind of looks like they had some kind of, they had some plants growing in culture, or geological samples or something. Oh yeah, here we go. This plant is kept stable by mimicking its natural environment. Sample of local plants exposed to radiation. Oh, Christ. Yeah, y'all are beta testing your Godzilla-making machine, aren't you? They're doing it here, so we don't have to worry about it at home, I guess. Which, you know, a certain logic to that, perhaps. But yeah, it's fun to kind of poke around these environments and to kind of piece together what they're actually doing. Anyway, next. Alright. So drone routes are going to be somewhere in there. Right. We're going to have to be careful. Alright, this path kind of goes into the water. Is there something we climb? There we go. There we go. Alright, we can take the elevator, but I think we want to be careful. Enemies in the original game did react to sound, so I'm kind of curious how the AI works on these things. But since being detected is a restart the mission prompt, it is a restart the mission situation, we'll want to be careful about how we do it. So yeah, there's that fella. Here, circle around. Not this building, but the adjacent building. But yeah, you can see here this is some kind of communication station. Nicer than to leave this completely unguarded except for the drones. Oh, okay. I think they said something about how the drones will more or less ignore us unless we start destroying stuff. So while it's tempting to just bust a hole in the wall, I feel like that'll be the quickest way to get unwanted attention. Just something of an anathema to my playstyle. Not destroying things, but, you know, just this once I'll make an exception. Hey, here we go. Is this it? No. No, it's further down. Damn thing's right above us. Huh. Somewhere below us. Yeah, this is our tool for the mission. It's kind of a special missions only thing. Again, we used it once, I think, in the base game. Amusingly, against the same corporation. Alright. We're on the level with it, so it's going to be in this direction somewhere. Here we go. These documents were supposed to be in the buildings above. Alright. Here we go. Yeah. This whole cavern's filled with them. What gives? They're planning on disposing of it, maybe. Alright. Next target. Contains vital information about drone routes and safety. Alright, so we need to get across there. You know what? Just out of curiosity, let us cause a distraction. See what exactly happens. Let's say... Here, we'll go up top and we'll pick a nice juicy target and make our way over while the drones are busy. Use the elevator here, why not? That's what I do. Nah, they're gonna come right this way. And stay low, wait for it to pass. Maybe we don't need a distraction after all. Alright. Alright, somewhere over here. Above us. Oh, nope, in this way. Hey, alright. There's one of the drones. Alright. That's 3. Now let's make our way to the big kahuna itself. Now we'll cause a distraction. Let's say... Here we go. We'll destroy the vending machines. Any reaction? Surprisingly not. Maybe if they notice it, they'll sense something is afoot. Again, it's interesting to poke at the AI in this game and watch it work around the destruction you wreak. Because the robots were pretty good at navigating, but if they couldn't physically reach you, there wasn't much you could do about it. Or wasn't much they could do about it. Alright, so we need to get up. There we go. A lot of radiation around the tower. Oh, now you tell me. Thanks, Tier 1, you're a pal. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, this looks like some expensive hardware, alright. I'm guessing the black hole itself is probably somewhere in the sky. Maybe they... Actually, wait, no. It's probably a case where they channel the energy... I don't know. Let's go down. I'm curious. I want to see more of this thing. Tell me more of your story, game. How does this singularity work? Can we go down from here? We cannot. Yeah, I guess the actual black hole is somewhere in the sky, and they must, I don't know, vaporize the trash and beam it up. Actually, yeah, it looks like this is some kind of... That's it. Yep, they load the trash onto this thing, the energy here generates the black hole, it's up in the sky. Something up there shoots the trash up into the black hole. Problem solved, waste disposal is no longer a problem. Fascinating! Alright, now we need to get to our escape vehicle, which is over... here. Oh, fuck! We've been made! Cops are onto us, we gotta run. Pardon me, coming through. Fuck, where is it? This way, this way. Yes, Base 5-0 is seeing us. I don't know what the consequences are, but I assume it's gonna be a problem. Shit, 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 shit. I noticed the timer hasn't started yet, so maybe we got out just in time. Right, we gotta get up. Damn it! What's the way out here? Way out is this way. Shit. Alright. Way out is this way. Shit. Okay. Well, let's go this way then. Hey! Alright, Tier 1. Cheese it, we gotta go. Oh, man. That was too close, little guy. Again, it's hard to tell exactly how much danger we were in, but they have armed robots before, and now we're in space with lasers and stuff, so presumably their arsenal has gotten deadlier, and those are just like patrol bots. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, black is the new green, huh? Mainframe could explain a bit more why greenwashing this black operation is a bad idea, but we need to get busy. We're gonna title drop. We need some high-quality anti-gravity crystals. Good thing is the EFO Corp already has the crystals analyzed, so we just need to get their data. Taking out their backups would also be beneficial for us. Hey, Mainframe, can you elaborate on why it's a bad idea with the black hole and give the briefing for our next mission? Black hole, green solution. Using a black hole so close to the planet will emit large amounts of Hawking radiation, which will permanently damage the flora and fauna and disrupt the ecosystem. I've calculated this will not be as eco-friendly as their advertisements state. You don't say. Gather info about the superfluid helium potential of the anti-gravity crystals in the Arroyo Chasm. The information is available on computers at the mining operations there. Alright. Collect the computers to acquire the requested information. Destroy the building where backups are stored. Hell yeah. Alright. So yeah, in contrast to what I was expecting, it looks like they're going to try and do a... I hesitate to use the word realistic, but a more grounded approach to having a black hole so close to a planet. The danger is not necessarily the planet itself getting sucked in, but the second-order effects of matter being condensed and the radiation emitted by the black hole itself. Which, you know, this is pure science fiction at this point. Realism has gone out the door, but there are degrees of... what's the word I'm looking for? There are degrees of sci-fi softness, let's say. Alright, so, this building has to be destroyed. And, let's see... Large fires will trigger the alarm. Alright, so we need to get that computer. Demolish. Contains information about the crystals. Alright, so one of the computers is in the office we have to demolish. Another computer is over there. I noticed the game marks Tier 1 on this, so I'm thinking he might actually have some function at some point. Maybe, possibly. Alright. Let's see how heavy these things are. We're probably going to need the crystals again. Oh, shit. Here we go. Alright. So, we're going to have to haul ass with these computers, because they are alarmed. Alright, now we're getting into some old Teardown gameplay here. So, what we need to do... let's do some creative carving here. Separate the base like so. Ain't gotta be perfect, just gotta be good enough. Yeah. It's up here... Break off the top. I noticed that things are floating. Oh, there's a third crystal there. That would explain it. Alright. Hold on a second. Can we... Yes! Speaking of anti-gravity, awesome! Yeah, this opens up a ton of possibilities for building paths around. If you got the crystals nearby, you can basically build midair platforms, and there's a ladder right fucking there. You know what? I like my way better. Alright. So I'm assuming this thing is not heavy enough to need a crystal. So we can grab that and make our way back. So that's one. Let's see. That's a crane. That's not quick enough. Wait, hang on a second. We do have a... Did we have a vehicle in here? We did. No, we have one right here. Sweet. Alright. Let's move y'all over here. Just imagine trying to one-arm carry this vehicle until gravity sets in and suddenly you're tethered to a 2.5-ton chunk of... metal, damn it! Alright. Now, what's the computer situation in here? There you are. Your undead would be a skeleton of metal. Oh, that's good. I like that. Alright, so I think what I need to do... Start here... Go here, or start here and go here, get over here, and then make it to the extraction point. I think we can do this. So, let us... First, we'll look for a quick and/or creative way to this. What I find helpful in these situations is to look at it in reverse. Because, yeah, I don't think there is a hole in the caverns here we can use, unless... Wait, no, I remember. Yeah, it leads right there. There we go. Yeah, look at this. Alright, up we go, up we go. We use our foam gun to build a platform there. Yeah, here we go. Alright. So actually it is kind of possible, but you need to sort of aim at... You basically need to, with this gun, you need to build back from your destination to where you are. To where you're standing and what you want to access it from. Alright. Yeah, here we go. Just loose enough. Yeah. That gets us here. And up we go. Sick! Alright. We'll need to save as much time as possible, but I think we can make this work. Alright, here we are. We'll give her a little juice so we can quickly get down there. Oh, fuck, damn it. Vehicle thrusters are somewhat finicky things, but if you need to destroy one, if you need to disable one, any amount of damage to it will do. Alright. So, we grab this, get down here, grab this, get up here, get out. So now we need to get over here, and I'm guessing this is going to be the start of the run, because we probably need to grab this, sink this thing, and then haul ass. So I'm thinking that we can probably use the crane here. Dump it off over the side, use the antigrav crystals to sort of freeze it there. And that will form our platform. Maybe, possibly. Alright, what if we blow it up now? I gotta admit, that's a really cool effect. Just the way the debris kind of floats out and then stops. Nice. Unstable, but nice. So I'm guessing what we'll have to do, grab that, put the finishing touches on that building, scurry on up here, get up here. How does the hook shotgun interact with gravity crystals? That's a good question. Let's find out. Probably just yanks them towards you. Yep. Wonder how it reacts to a weightless object. Yes. Hook shotgun is still fun. Note also that the area actually looks a little different from the last time we were here. There was a, like, boat dock around here, I think. So there has been some construction. Or possibly it's a different part of the canyon, I think. I think that's probably the more likely explanation. What we'll do, we'll destroy the mooring points and use the antigrav crystal to keep the cabin afloat. Then we grab the crystal, we grab the computer, yeet the crystal out the window, or just grab the crystal and move it far enough away. Yeah, that's what we'll do. There. There. Alright. That's separated, so now it's kept there by the catwalk. Let's see if this will work. If we blast this, does it separate? Not yet. Ah. Damn it! So I guess they fixed or adjusted that, so if you completely unmoor the thing the alarm is tied to, that causes the whole... that sets off the alarm. Dash cunning of them! So I think that's what we'll have to do. We'll grab the... we'll set a bomb here, grab this, build a path out of here, grab the crystal on the way down, this collapses. Alright. Other way around. What if we just blast a hole in the ceiling? Hey, don't you float away on me. What if we instead have a ladder going up to the roof? Let's take you outside. I'm almost certainly overthinking this. But that's half the fun of these. Just seeing whatever jank-ass way you can come up with to solve the very precise technical problem. What would happen if you attached the anti-grav crystal to the thing you clearly want to get, then did the whole shoot out the beams thing, then... Oh, I like the way you think. Yeah, if we tie the crystal to this, blast the structure out from under it, grab this with the crystal, We make our way up there. Yeah, I think you're onto something here. I think what I'll probably do, get to the roof, keep this high enough. Let's decouple you. The tree idea is a bust. What if we collapse the roof here? Yeah. Yeah, we'll collapse a chunk of this here, make it possible to jump up on here. Blow out a hole. Then at the start of the run, we set the bomb over here. Pull the crystal up, grab the timer, throw the crystal off so the structure falls. Get up the cliff. Yeah, we might need to do this in reverse. We might need to start here, head over here. Grab this, blast it, let it fall, get over here, get this, then get up and out. Main thing is I only have a little bit of foam left. Probably enough to make one step ladder. I used a lot of it, unfortunately, over at this portion of the run. To get from the roof here over here. Yeah, I think what I can do is take that car, ramp it off over here. Grab that. Find a way up. Then go along here, maybe? Let us free you from your current earthly constraints. Alright. Maybe this'll work. Yes! 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 Perfect! Okay, this is doable. Alright. So let us save this. Yeah. So, ramp the car off, grab that, ramp the car off here, blast that, get up here, grab that, get up here, then somehow get over there. This is the tricky part. Because I'm kind of counting on the car over here. How far will that get us? Not very. More thrusters. Okay, that almost works. What if we tether the car to one of these and use the thrusters to make an improvised rocket, so we have an aircraft? Can this work? Oh, ho, 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 ho. We have liftoff. This isn't gonna work, but I like the idea. This is something I'll have to explore later. Pardon me. Yes! Alright, that works. Beautiful. Alright. Alright, hang on by a thread. Actually, we might be able to still do it that way. Get that, run up here. Get that. Launch ourselves down those stairs. Get the third one, get the fuck out of here. Alright, I think that's as close to a plan as we're gonna get. If nothing else, we'll run this and we'll see what kind of time I've got. And I'll have some idea where to correct this. But we are long overdue to actually give this a go. So once more, for old time's sake, it's crime time! Shit, 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 get up there. Ah, come on, get up there, Teardown, man. Come on, get up here. Got it. Alright. Now. Shit. Nah, this ain't gonna work. No, we fucked this. We need a way to destroy the building, retrieve the computer, and get out of there at the same time, and I just didn't unmount it enough. They're living. Hey! They have helicopters on not Mars or whatever. Ah, well. Sometimes you get the package, and sometimes the package gets you. But yeah, this has been the Greenwash Gambit. I will definitely be playing more of this. I'll figure out what I was doing wrong. I might honestly do this in between Stalker. We'll see if I can squeeze in some extra Saturday stuff again. If not, I'll get to it eventually, and I'll have something. I'll have another update on this and see what the later missions go. I do want to see what becomes of the black holes, because some of the later objectives kind of sound wild. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good night, and see you next time. Don't close that browser tab yet, folks. We're not done. So, this took a while to figure out. There were a lot of mistakes in that attempt, as you saw, but I had a couple of the right ideas. The main issue, which I didn't even get to, is that there are a lot of switchbacks in this portion over here, and that eats into the clock just enough to be a problem. I did sort of get it working as intended, going from the office to the warehouse to down here and then up the cliff, but here is where I kept running out of time. A much better solution was actually to start down here, race up to the warehouse, grab that, then get over here with an airborne platform, then hop on a foam platform, blast out the office, and climb up here. This still takes some timing, but it's much easier to level the building from a stable platform, no anti-gravity required. Let's get setting this up, and I'll walk you through it. So here's the easy part. We still break this window, make sure the computer's there, then we head right outside and hop in the car here and go. You still want thrusters on the vehicle, but it's a lot easier taking this up the ramp. The thrusters run the risk of throwing you off course depending on where you physically put them on the car, but if you're going uphill, it's just pushing you into the ground, which is quite a bit more stable. I went off track like a half dozen times going downhill. This worked just about every time. Now, let's go uphill and set up the warehouse. Now, up here, we still want a crystal, but not necessarily to help with climbing. This ladder will do fine, and actually, there's a couple more down here as well. So we've got more conventional options if you didn't want to lop the stairs apart. Which, granted, is still kind of fun. I do like building unconventional platforms. But we don't necessarily need to get all the way up. Let's just put you right about here. That'll do. Yeah, actually we can just shoot this thing out from under here. Give it the Corbin Dallas special. There we go. Now we can just hop up and grab it. Oh, damn. Things definitely still react to your weight, even in anti-gravity. Because, yeah, you obviously are unaffected by anti-gravity. So it can be tricky to test your setups, but this should work. We run up the ladder, jump, and grab that. The main thing is to keep the computer from falling and losing the connection there. And just leaving it open so we can run up and grab it. When you're going all over the map, seconds count. So the quicker we can just grab that and get on with our day, the better. Alright, now for crossing over to here. This isn't strictly necessary. You can actually usually safely make the jump from here to here. But I do like using these crystals for vertical movement to make platforms out of random objects, or in this case, random vehicles. Plus, it's going to demonstrate the game's attention to detail in an interesting way. Let's get this crane in the air, and I'll show you what I mean. And that'll do. It's pretty tricky. The weight of the truck means that it will shift slightly as you move it in the air. In fact, if you hop in the crane, there's an interesting bit of physics on display. So yeah, we can extend and rotate the crane, but that's causing a counter movement within the truck itself, showing that physics does still hold even if there's no gravity. Again, we're not dealing with strict real-world simulation here, but things like this create verisimilitude without getting in the way. It feels authentic enough while still being fun to play with. Anyway, let's get out of the truck. And hopefully that won't turn too much. Yeah, see, the problem is she's kind of listing there, and we need to actually get on the bloody thing. So it can take quite a bit of fine-tuning. In fact, it's not a bad idea to have the crane oriented in the direction you want it before you plunge it over there. So let's make some adjustments here. Let's see, what if we do this? Yeah, that ought to hold her. Oop. Basically, we just want to extend it out just far enough that we have a platform. But we might want one more thing down here to be safe. Where, oh where, can we find a flat surface to work with? This might take a while. Alright, and we're loose. Now, we need to be able to move this thing. A rare case of actually using these things. Not quite enough. We'll need to move it pretty far, unfortunately. Actually, I think we've got this. Okay, this is cool. You can drag an object tethered to an anti-gravity crystal while you're standing on that object, and then move it like a... not quite with vehicular precision, but with some degree of control. That's awesome. Okay, let's get back up there. There we go. You know, with a little bit of work, you could probably get this thing to do some rudimentary altitude control. You just need to be able to raise... you basically need to be able to angle it. You need flaps, more or less, or something that controls identically to it. So yeah, you sort of have to drag it out slowly, but she will move. Well, you don't know what we can find. It is legit nuts that the game lets you do this. It's not a tool per se, but it's an awesome expansion of the physics. Alright, let's level you out. Why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride? That's close enough, I'd say. Alright, can we adjust this thing by pushing down? Let's try. Not quite enough. You need quite a few more thrusters for this, or a much smaller platform. Alright, I think that's about as good as we're gonna get. See, we should be able to jump safely-ish down there. I would like that lower, but we'll take what we can get. Actually, can we make the jump? Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, with that established, we'll use the foam gun to build some stepping stones here. We don't want to fire directly at the truck, because that will move it. So what if we do this? We don't want to use too much. We need it to get up the cliff. So yeah, here, here, here. Perfect. Yeah, we jump here, run along the crane, make it over to the platform there, jump down onto the office. That should take us in near enough of a straight line. Beautiful. Alright, so we're on the office. Now, from here, we do a few more things. First, we're going to take out all but one of these support beams. Say, we'll leave the middle one there intact, and we'll blast the rest. So yeah, we'll detach you. And we'll mark this one for precise demolition later. We do need to cut off here, and I think honestly we can just plant a bomb and it should detach it well enough. Alright, so from here we need to carve out a chunk of roof and wall. We want to be able to reach this computer from the roof. So we want to get it up there, but we don't want an anti-gravity crystal to prevent the building itself from coming down when we cut the beam. So we've got one more cable. What we'll do... Can we attach you to the roof? Not quite far enough. What about a higher point in the roof? What about over here? Nope. Damn it. Actually, what I think we can do... We use the foam gun again. Build a little platform on which we can put the computer. Just high enough to make it reachable from the roof. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, so yeah, we cut a hole in the roof. That'll do. Alright, so now we can grab that here. And we'll want a stable platform on which to do this. And then we're going to climb the cliff there. So yeah, we put the computer in reach, we grab it, fire down at the beam here, and then we climb up the cliff here. The path will actually take us here, straight to the escape vehicle. One thing with the foam gun is it's actually not too tricky to build a linear platform out to you. The main problem is building it out from your position. But otherwise, yeah, I think we can make this work. So, land on the roof, grab that, hop on here, blast that, hustle on up over here, up the canyon, to the escape vehicle. Alright, so our setup is complete, so let's review. We'll grab the first target here, hop in a car, race up here, climb up, grab the second one, use these obstacles to get to the third computer, grab that, climb up, snipe the beam to take out the last target, then scurry up and bugger on out of here. That's the plan, anyway. Let's see how it goes. Alright, here we go. Let's do it right this time. Once more, with feeling, it's crime time! Let's see if this will still work. Alright, that's the second one. Now over a kick-ass floating platform here. Yeet! Nice! The foam actually softened the impact there. Alright. Now, snipe the beam. What? What is 2.5 meters too... Oh, motherfucker! The foam block got in the way. Son of a bitch. Okay. Something was still floating there. I think either there was anti-grav crystal or something else was there. Let's do some more testing just to be absolutely sure. Alright, let's do it right this time. 1 and a 2 and a 3. It's crime time! Fishtailing, but that's alright. Just need to get up the hill. Alright. Alright. Up here over a kick-ass floating platform. Down here. Get it, there we go. Up here, turn. Are you fucking me? The fuck you are. Drop now. There we go. Alright. Not a lot of time. Ah, motherfucker. Oh, you can actually control her in that. Nice. Nah, we lost way too much time. Once more, with some feeling, it's crime time! There we go. Alright. Oh, man. The anti-gravity stuff is so cool. I love this. Let's go out over our kick-ass floating platform. Got it. Turn. Snipe the beam. For some reason the foam wants to stay airborne. I think a portion of it just detached somehow. There wasn't a crystal close. We should have just enough time, but it's still kind of a long run. Alright. Hop in, Tier 1. We gotta cheese it. Hell yeah! Just call me the Greenwash Bandit. Hoocha! But yeah, as you can see, that did not leave a lot of margin of error. There were probably other places we could have shaved off some time. Maybe some slightly better use of the car. But an example of just the kind of creativity you can work with. Just the amount of creativity you have once with the anti-gravity crystals and the foam gun and the laser weapons and such. And the more you mess with these things, the more you mess with the new stuff, the more you see how they've expanded your build options in a really fun way. It's a very strong addition, and I'm excited to see what later missions throw at you. In fact, I'm going to squeeze in at least part of the next mission, mostly to show off one other new mechanic. So yeah, in this mission, we are stealing some anti-gravity crystals. We've got to collect at least 3 of them to enable production of the quantum vortex bomb. Woohoo! The crystals will be used both as a propellant, similar to how they are used in the drones, as well as being the source of the explosive force. Let's do it. Alright, that takes us back to the Arroyo Chasm. Crystal collection. So yeah, once again we're back here. And as you can see, it has been more or less completely drained now, or drained down even further. We do have patrolling drones here, which you may remember from when we were taking pictures. But let's get a closer look at how they work. So you may recall, in the base game, we could not deal with security measures in a permanent way outside very rare circumstances. Guard helicopters were completely invincible. They were, in fact, intangible. And robots could only be disposed of by dumping them in water, which wasn't always available. Damn, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, you can see that... Damn it. Okay, come on. Yeah, you can see we are a lot more vertically oriented in this mission. This is actually where that first computer was. The water line was around here, now it's down further. So they are expanding these maps in kind of an interesting way each time you come here. Again, they're working with the passage of time to imply that things are happening in between missions. But anyway, yeah, you remember how we couldn't attack the helicopters? Oh. God damn it. Okay, there we go. Suffice to say, that's not the case here. You can, in fact, freely shoot down these drones and work around them without setting off the alarm. Now, there's a catch, because I'm pretty sure these things respawn. And if you do set off the alarm, they start shooting at you, and they definitely respawn. But it's a novel case where you can defend yourself. You have, like, honest-to-goodness combat, but you're still incentivized to leave quickly, because they're just gonna keep coming. In fact, let's get close and we'll trigger the alarm for funsies. Hey, buddy. Draw, Pilgrim. So yeah, they start popping out of the woodwork. There's another one coming our way here. Hell yeah, they are trivial to dispatch, but they will just keep coming. And if they do actually get to fire, they lay on the hurt pretty quickly. Yeah. As you can see, the threat is rapidly multiplying. And now they're going to start tearing apart the level to get at us. Kind of neat, actually. Again, you didn't really get this in the original game. You got sequences where you were under fire and had to work around hostile entities, but nothing you could just simply shoot to get rid of. So yeah, they're flexing their creativity a little bit more with this expansion in ways I quite like. Because I've liked all their expansions so far, for different reasons. Folk Race was tricky to play. Again, it's not really playing to my strengths. I am not good at racing games. But I liked what they did with the way the physics intersected with the destruction, with like environmental destruction, how that affected the terrain of the course. And you can tell with each expansion they're getting more confident in their tool set, what they can do with the physics engine, and what new directions they can take it. And I'm excited to see what they do next. But yeah, that has been the Greenwash Gambit. So thanks all of you for tuning in and sticking with the video. My apologies to the stream crew for mucking around, but hopefully this shows off some of what's possible with the stuff they've added. I love this game. I've loved all the expansions. I can't wait to try the multiplayer mode they're adding. But until then, thanks one more time for tuning in. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.